And one of the most freeing things for our heart when it comes to how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, how we invest our resources and our talents, our money, our stuff, one of the most freeing shifts of our mind is when we move from have to get to. When we move from have to get to. I have to, I have to, I have to, I have to. And I don't know about you, but I got enough things that I have to do. That why would I take the things that God says I get to do and put them in the have to category, right? I have to mow the lawn tomorrow. And I won't like it. But it's got to get done, right? I have to do it, right? We have to pay the bills. We have to pay the taxes. You have to get out of the way of the guy that pulls out in front of you, right? Have to do it. Some of us have committed ourselves to schedules that we actually feel like the victim of the schedule and feel like I have to do it. What if in living out life with God, we could make a massive transition from I have to do this with God, I have to do this for God, to, man, I get to invest in the kingdom of God, the movement of God, the work of God. I get to do it. What would happen if when you hand out a hot dog at a football game, and I hope you'll do it. We'll talk next week about some concession opportunities we have. It's one of the most fun things that we do. You learn a lot of things about people hanging out in a concession stand of chaos with them for lots of things, right? And you can come and you can hand out hot dogs, you can serve refreshments and make change and have fun with kids and everything else. And you can do that, and the entire time you can give. And the give will matter. It'll matter. But here's what I think Jesus says when he paints the canvas. Like, say, look, if in the middle of all that chaos where you're making change and counting change and handing out Skittles and giving out free hot dog passes and everything else, if you just for a moment, in the midst of all the chaos, would allow yourself to see the potential pain or loss or hurt or just discouragement or just fatigue of the person that you're handing candy and pop and popcorn and hot dog, if you just allow to see it and allow yourself in the chaos to feel it just a little bit, you will be unleashed in the way you interact with them and the way you serve them. It'll be more generous than it's ever been. You show up on a Sunday and you're like, man, I work on the first impressions team, and I got to hold that door. And you hold that door. And look, anybody can fake it for 20 minutes, right? I'm here and I'm happy. I'm here and I'm happy. I'm here and I'm happy. Anybody can do that for 20 minutes, right? But what if we could move from I have to I get to? What if our heart could just become unleashed because every time we opened the door and shook somebody's hand, we allowed ourselves just to see the potential of what their last 7 days had been like, good or bad? What if we just allowed ourselves to see that, man, I don't know what it was like, and I can feel a little bit of the potential confusion? And my generous, authentic smile, because I've taken the chance to see and feel, might be the first smile they've had in 48 hours. And so it matters. We serve Journey kids, and we're like, man, we don't babysit, we just do childcare, which is 100% true, but every kid we look at, what if we just said, hey, I'm just going to see what is the potential of confusion and disillusionment and chaos or wonder they've lived in the last 5 days. And I'm just going to feel that. I'm going to put myself back in an 8-year-old mindset. I'm just going to feel it for a minute. And I will be unleashed in how I pray for them and how I serve them in that moment and love them for the rest of the day. Like people walk up on the stage and they play instruments to sing or whatever else, and it's this huge shift if we said, hey, I got to play the right note, I got to do this, I got to show up, I got to be there. If we could shift and say, wait a minute, the people that I'm going to stare at in a day, the people I'm going to make eye contact with, what if I just saw a little bit of their pain? What if their pain was the same as my pain, so it was easy to see and feel their pain? Or their hope or their anticipation of encountering God or experiencing life with Him in that day. And because we saw and we felt, we said, man, I get to be a part of leading that group and worship and encountering God. I mean, we just chucked the have to and said, no, man, I get to do this. And when we talked about our finances and our stuff and our money, and we said, look, I have to give that, I have to. We said, no, man, look, have to. I'm done with have to. I get to invest in things that make a difference in people's lives for all of eternity. And when somebody gets baptized or somebody experiences salvation or a marriage is restored or somebody finds their gift and passion and comes unhinged in serving God, my contribution, man, that mattered, and I got to be a part of that. I got to be a part of that. What if we could just make this massive swing from have to get to? Because look. You know what I know, right? The best marriages, they are not have to marriages. I've got to put up with you again another year. I've got to survive with you until the kids leave so we can do something about this. I've got to stay because we can't sort out the money if we're not together. Right? Who wants to live there? That's the very thing people are looking for restoration in their marriages from, right? The best marriages, the inspiring ones, are the get to. Man, I get to be with you. I get to be with you, which is also kind of cool because you can look back and say, you get to be with me. I know I'm getting old and ugly, but you get to be with me. Right? I mean, that's the beauty of that, right? Who wants to live and have to, right? The people with the best jobs don't have the best jobs. They have the best attitudes about whatever job. You don't like working, no matter how great your company is, you don't like working with people who show up every day with a have-to mentality. That's a drag. Right? You already know that, right? You like working with people that even when it's hard, they're like, hey man, I get to go to work. I get to put food on the table. I get to have a job. I get to live out mission with God in whatever my job is. That's the contagious side, right? What if we could just say, hey man, in life with God, I've picked up too many have-tos, and with too many have-tos comes too much guilt and too much shame and too much empty obligation. When in reality, the invitation of God to say, hey, look, just see it. See people's pain, see people's agony, see people's dreams, see people's hope, see people's loss, see people's wonder. Feel all of it. And in the scene of the film, you'd be compelled to live generously. We'll say, I get to do something about that. I get to invest in that. See, where did it all start? I love this. Just check out this verse in John chapter 10. We're not the first people to live out of the get to. Right? It's a great invitation of God, but we're not the first people. Check this out. This is Jesus talking. He said, no one takes it. He's talking about his life. He's telling his disciples, the people closest to him, hey, this is what's coming. I'm going to give up my life. I'm going to be murdered in just a short time. I'm going to be brutally murdered. But nobody takes it from me. But actually, I lay it down. I give up my own life. Of my own what? Of my own what? Of my own what? That's where you talk out loud. I ask and you talk out loud. It's like Jesus answering questions, right? I lay it down of my what? We'll practice again next week. This thing is Jesus saying, hey, look, I'm going to willingly put my life down. I'm going to willingly put my life down. Is it going to be hard? He's getting ready to get murdered. Of course it's going to be hard. But he's like, I'm just going to willingly do it. I get to be incredibly obedient to my Father. And I get to love people so much that I could die for them and bridge the gap between them and the God who created them. I get to restore relationship. I get to mend the fence. I get to redeem. I get to save. I get to forgive. Is it going to be hard? Excruciatingly hard. Excruciatingly hard. Most of us are not lining up to be murdered for other people who, while we're being murdered for them, they're our enemy, which is, the Bible says that's what we were when Jesus died for us. We were his enemy. Jesus says, now I get to do that. Is it hard? Oh, man, excruciatingly hard. But I love the window of love we get to see in Jesus right there. That he would willingly do it. I'm so glad Jesus didn't go to the cross and look at me and say, man, I had to do this for you. You are messed up, and I had to do this for you. I kind of like it that he looked at it and said, dude, you are messed up, and I get to do this for you. It's going to be hard, but I get to do this for you. I get to do this. Jesus is the lead get-to guy. And just for so long, look, for some of us, we don't even know we live out of a have-to mentality. It is so normal for us. It is so common. For a lot of us, it's been a part of our lives for as long as we can remember. Can I say to you, for those of you who've done church your whole life, I can almost guarantee you it's part of your life in ways you don't even know. And the invitation of Jesus, man, let's just live in the get-to. Don't take things I said you get to and make them have-tos. You got enough have-tos on your own. Let's live out of the get-to.